Let's welcome in Florida Congressman Greg Steube. Congressman, good morning and welcome to Wake Up America Weekend. What did you make of President Biden this week? Do you have a successful night on Thursday and he's going right into the campaign? What were your thoughts?
Well, you know, the bar is set so low that the bar is, can he make it down the aisle without stumbling, make it up the stairs without falling, and speak without knowing where he is and garbling up his words, which if you paid attention to most of it, half towards the middle, I couldn't understand what he was saying because he was slurring his words. He attacked Trump. He brought his name up. Of course, he called him predecessor because heaven forbid he brings up his name 13 different times in the speech. So you're right. It was a much more political speech because we have a general election in November, and he's going to try to do everything that he can to attack Republicans and blame Republicans for problems that he created, like the border. He took 60-plus actions, executive actions at the border that has created the crisis that we are in, and then wants to blame Republicans for not sending him enough money to solve the problem that he created.
It is a bit rich. We took a look at some of the claims that Biden made on Thursday night. Child poverty, for example, has been cut by 50%, he said. Violent crime is at a 50-year low, which, of course, we know needs context. So, Congressman, I'm just going to ask you straight out. Do you think he's lying to the American people?
No, he's straight up lying to the American people. It was lie after lie after lie, from the border to the economy, you name it. He's completely misrepresenting the current status of our country. And I see that you're going to have a crime panel that's going to discuss that. You can make the statistics say whatever you want. They're probably looking at the entire country. But if you look at Democratic-run cities and states and their crimes, I was just in Washington. It's almost every day that there's a murder like blocks from the Capitol. You have one of the highest crime rates in the country, so bad that even the Democrats are now trying to reverse all of the soft on crime policies that they had because they now recognize it as an issue. So it's skewing the numbers around, and it's trying to blame Republicans for issues that he created, completely misrepresenting the economic crisis that we have in our country that they create. Democrats created this. They dropped trillions of dollars on the economy and created this skyrocketing inflation. You ask any American family, regardless of their political affiliation, if it's harder for them to make pay their bills today than it was 3 years ago, they will all say yes. The average cost of a family of four is an additional $11,000 a year just because of Joe Biden's inflation.
Yeah, that is certainly a topic that has got rustled many feathers there. But another moment that caught people's attention was the moment that he mentioned Laken Riley. He didn't quite get it right, though. Let's quickly take a listen.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
Now, I would say that that's probably the only gaffe that he made the entire night. Like I said, this was very impressive for the president, in my opinion.
He slurred a lot. There was things you couldn't understand, but I would say that was his biggest gaffe.
Yeah, that was the biggest one there. He called her Lincoln, not Laken. It's such a high-profile case. Do you think that this could be seen as a miss?
Well, and what's also interesting is he called the person who killed her an illegal, which is exactly the case. And now he's being attacked by Democrats on his side of the aisle for calling them illegal, which is exactly what they are. An illegal that came into this country and was released by his administration that killed an American. We have Americans dying every single day from fentanyl overdoses that he can stop today at the southern border. If he would have just kept in place the Trump-era policies, and shut down the border, allowed for the wall to be completed, and all of these things that Trump put in place, we wouldn't be in the immigration crisis that we're in right now and the crime crisis that we're in right now. I just had a constituent a couple weeks ago who was raped by an illegal immigrant that was released by Joe Biden's administration. So it's not just the border states anymore that are border states. It's Florida. It's every state in the nation because they're shipping them all across the country. Right. And now we find out 320,000 illegals, they secretly flew into our country. So clearly they are intentionally and deliberately violating federal law at the southern border every single day, so much so that they're subverting and flying secret flights to bring in illegals so that there's not as many people coming in through the southern border, because we've been over now 12 million if you account the gotaways.
Congressman, we're out of time. Got to leave it there, but very much appreciate you coming on this morning and give us that insight. Have a great one.
Thank you, Congressman.
Yeah, you too.